Hello. So today we're kind of doing a frugal living Q&A on how to save money. And
this is Tara and I'm Joe.
Mom was supposed to be on today, but we forgot she doesn't have a car. And we weren't able to go pick her up. So it's Mike and I. You look like Mom, don't you?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that, guys, but I will answer the questions for her because I know what she would say. Well, I know what I'll say. All right. The first one is grocery lie. This is probably the number 2 grocery lie people believe. The first grocery lie is that, you just can't afford groceries anymore, which is not true. But the second one is probably close to second, if not second, but it is from Connie. She says, my sister-in-law, and I'm going to make a separate video on this just so you guys know. My sister-in-law and I have debated we need your opinion on. We have a debate we need your opinion on. I usually get whole chickens for 99 cents a pound and use for several meals. She tends to buy boneless, skinless for more than I pay. She claims her deal is better. She gets meat and no bone, but I pay cheaper. I get meat and bones. I boil the bones and make the broth. What are your views on with or without bones and pricing? People ask this all the time. I'm going to do a specific video showing this one time. But guys, before we get to my answer, because I know you're curious, Dining on a Dime cookbooks, guys, volume 1 and 2, and the green one is our gluten-free. You can get in and out of the kitchen quick with ingredients you already have on hand, recipes your family will love. And even if you see my gardening hands today, even when you're gardening, you can get in and out quick so that you don't have to eat out. All right, which is cheaper, bone-in or boneless, skinless chicken? Here is my answer. I'm just rounding up, okay? Let's say she pays $1 a pound for bone-in and $2 a pound for boneless. Now, I have not seen boneless for less than $2.47 in my area, but thank you, Mary. My friend Mary in Indianapolis, she sent me $1.99 just a few weeks ago, and another viewer sent me $1.47 for boneless, skinless. So it just varies on the price, but here's a general rule. If you pay $1 per pound for bone-in and $2 a pound for boneless, would the price be the price for it to be cheaper than bone-in? So basically what it amounts to is your bones account for half the weight in your chicken. Okay? So then if she's using the bones to make chicken broth, then her price would come down even more. So then she'd have to figure how many quarts of chicken broth is she getting out of it, and she's getting an even better deal then. So let's say you get a 6-pound whole chicken for $6. You would get 3 pounds of meat and 4 pounds of broth. Her sister got 3 pounds of chicken at $3 a pound, which is what the average price is right now, for $9. Chicken broth is $1, because I'm sure her sister buys chicken broth. Chicken broth is $1.37 a box at Walmart for the store brand. So that would be $5.48. So it would cost your sister $14.48 for the same amount of meat and chicken broth that you paid $6 for. Did I make sense?
I wasn't listening.
I think I made sense. It's fine. You can keep doing what you're doing. Let me know when you have it done. So you need to just sit and figure, but in general, half the amount of weight is bones when you buy bone-in chicken. But that doesn't account for the fact that if you use the bones for chicken broth, then you're also saving money on that. Now, I personally can't make homemade chicken broth for medical reasons. Homemade bone broth makes me physically ill. So I don't make it. So I use a lot of boneless, skinless because I do throw away the bones. But if you're able to make broth, my goodness, saving $14 minus $6, you're saving what, $8? That's a decent amount of savings right there. So yes, bone in, as a general rule, is cheaper than boneless, unless you're getting your chicken for like your bone in is 99 cents and then your boneless skinless would be like $1.47, then it might be better. Okay, we got that answer. Now, do you have that ready?
No.
All right. Nellie, you might close your browser and reopen it and see if it opens again. Now, if you need some recipes for using bone-in chicken, we have some really good recipes. We have how to roast chicken in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1. We have, I think, 3 different ways to roast it in here. We have how to make homemade broth. I think it's in Volume 1. I can't remember if it's in Volume 1 or Volume 2. Let's see, chicken broth. Yes, it must. Yes, it's one of the ones that in Volume 1. It's one of the new recipes if you have one of the older versions of our cookbook. But just learning how to make boneless, skinless chicken broth will save the price of a book for most people. It definitely will. 25% off right now in the description below. But you can make honey baked chicken, maple glazed chicken, roast chicken, and then we have several recipes on how to use chicken and noodles and all those kinds of things. All right. Now, our how to save money on how to save on groceries e-course is 50% off right now. And these types of tips are in there and they help you cut your grocery bill. Now, this is a full e-course. It's got the videos and the tutorials that all go with it and the ebooks so that you can start saving money on your grocery bill today. And I guarantee you, you will save the price of the e-course. I guarantee you. It's 50% off right now, guys, in the description below. All right.
I shared a link just now in the comments too.
Yes. Now, put your comments and questions in the comment section, and Mike will email them to me, and we will get to those as soon as I am done with my other 2 questions. Although, since we're on chicken, I'm going to take Teresa's question right now. What's the difference between rotisserie and baked chicken? Does it taste different? Not really. It just depends on the seasonings you use. I find my homemade baked chicken tastes 1,000 times better than the rotisserie chicken at the store. But I buy rotisserie. In Wyoming, I don't buy them, but in Colorado, I would buy rotisserie chickens on clearance all the time for $3 or $4. They would be on clearance the next morning, and I would buy several of them and throw them in my freezer. Then I would put them in the oven and warm them up as a roast chicken the first night. Then I would take off all of the meat and then use it for 2 or 3 more meals for several other nights. So I think it's just the taste different. I do prefer homemade versus rotisserie, but maybe some people are just used to eating rotisserie, and so they like the rotisserie taste, and that's fine. And I think it's fine to, I don't have a problem. We eat rotisserie chicken all the time, but that's the only difference would be the taste. All right. Alice says, would you and your mom address being 60 and above and having nothing at this time of your life? Suggestions as to what to do now. Is it too late to reverse things and help survive? For all of us who spent our lives delinquently and now we are scared to death, help. Okay. I'm going to try and be as nice as possible about this. Is this where Mike's version needs to come in?
Yes.
But listen.
The good cop will be here.
I'm really sorry, but that's the consequences of your choices. When you've been irresponsible with your money for your entire working life, and she specifically says, for those of us who have spent our lives delinquently and now we're scared to death, that's the consequences of your actions. You know, she didn't say how far into her 60s. She just said that being 60 and above. So I don't know if she is 60 or if she's 69, which will make a huge difference. But you're just going to have to keep working. You're not going to be retiring at 62 or 65. You are going to be continuing to work until you're in your 70s to 75. You're going to take that 10 to 15 years, if you have that long, and you are going to cut back on every single thing possible. Every single thing possible. You're going to be driving a beater car, no car payment. You're going to sell your car if you have a car payment and get a car for $5,000 or $6,000, maybe $7,000. You're going to have your AC set at 78 to 80 during the summer. You're going to have your heat set at 65 in the winter. And you're going to put on you're going to put on sweaters, and you're going to wear long sleeves in the house. In the summer, you're going to have a fan running. You're going to be closing the blinds when the sun is coming in. You're going to cut back on everything on your grocery bill. No sodas, no specialty drink things. I'll give you coffee, but only 1 or 2 cups a day. Or tea if you're a tea drinker. You're not going to be eating anything like steak. You're going to be eating very simple meals. You're going to be buying bone-in chicken, unless you can buy boneless, skinless for $2 or less a pound. You're going to be using every bit of that chicken. You're going to be making chicken noodle soup out of the bones. You're going to be freezing meals. You are not going to eat out at all, period, for anything. You are not eating out at all. You are cutting the cable. You are cutting your water as low as you can. You are cutting your gas. If you're saving your heat, you're cutting it back as low as you can. You are going to be doing all of these frugal tips that you should have been doing the last 40 years. And you can probably, if you're working 10 to 15 years, you could probably get $100,000, $200,000, depending on how much you're earning. You could even get $1 million if you're earning like $200,000 a year. You could save $150,000 a year and have $1 million in investment. But from what you sound like, it sounds like you're not making that kind of money. You're not going to be traveling. You're not going to be doing fun things, going to plays, going to concerts. You're not going to be doing any of that stuff. Every single thing you buy is going to be at the thrift store, used. Keep wearing it until it wears out. All of those things.
But the thing is, a lot of those things are not really that unpleasant. Like, it's like Jill still lives tighter than she probably needs to. But like with us, we buy mostly used things. And there's a lot of stuff we do that, even though we don't necessarily have to, makes it possible for us to save more money as we go. And it's not really unpleasant to do that, especially if you have a place to live and you have some basic things you can do. There's a lot you can do that doesn't cost anything. So the main thing is if you didn't plan ahead, some of the things like that people like to do, like take cruises and go traveling and all that, might have to be little or none. But it's not like you won't make it.
Mark says we cut our cable today. It was $245 a month. That is obscene.
Well, and actually,
that's absolutely ridiculous.
It's funny because I know a lot of people here that pay $200 a month for cable, but wow.
And then you complain that you can't buy groceries.
We just have internet only, and we have more internet than we would have if we didn't have a business. If we didn't have a business, it would be really cheap for our internet. And then you can watch things on YouTube for nothing. And there are certain, you only want to do one or two of these if you do that, but there are certain places where you can, like Friendly TV is an app. It's like $9 a month, and you basically get 20 channels of family shows. So that's way cheaper than $200 a month for cable if you want to do that. Or you could just we used to just go to the library and get movies, and then we watch stuff on YouTube. And so. Yeah.
So you're going to be doing all these things. And if you've got another 10 to 15 years that you can work, then you should have, a good base. But you may just have to live extremely frugally if you're on Social Security, for the rest of your life. That's just the consequences of your actions. And I'm sorry that you're scared, but
you can use that. I'm not saying you should be fearful all the time, but you can use that realization that, oh my goodness, I don't have a plan. What's going on? Where am I about at that point, to motivate you in some ways to think about how to save better. And the other thing is that a lot of people, they go on Social Security or whatever, and they say, I'm on a fixed income and this is all I have, and I can't do anything else. But if you're still somewhat healthy, you can work part-time, and even though you'll get, I think over a certain amount, you get less Social Security, right? But you still make more money overall for the work that you're doing, plus the part of the Social Security that you have. And it's not like you won't ever get that Social Security. It's just that, you could live a better standard right now. But what I would do is work, if you can, at least part-time when you get to that point, and just keep banking money.
Yep.
So, yeah. So it's not too late to start. It's just that it's getting to be too late if you want to do, lots of expensive, extravagant things that some people want to do when they retire.
Jamie says, I'm first generation American. My family's from the Philippines, grew up with no AC. Thank God my family acclimated me to that lifestyle. Yeah, no kidding. My goodness. Yeah, that's just crazy. And Karen says, no more buying Christmas, birthday, or any other presents for anyone. Take military showers, unplug everything not being used. Yep, exactly. Very good.
Well, because we were talking about utilities today, and Tara she's going to do more about this later, but we were talking about how it really wasn't that much for your utilities.
Well, like for us, because I've been wanting to know exact numbers. And for us, and guys, we have an 1.5 acres. We have a darn tootin' large yard. Now, we don't water all of it in the summer. The former owners watered all of it, and their water bill was $350 a month. What did we say ours was?
What's that?
In the summer, what was our water bill again?
I can't remember now.
Oh, crud.
I thought you wrote it down.
I did, but it's in the house.
Is it 140? Wait.
I can't remember. But our water
bill. No, it was 40.
It was $40 is how much our water bill was last summer to water our huge yard. We probably water 3/4 of an acre of the yard that we have. We probably water about half of it.
Last year?
Yeah.
Last year, no, during the watering season, when we were watering a lot, it was $50 for all the water.
$50. And normally our water bill is $30.
But this is $50 for 4 people living in a house on a lot of land, watering, not all of it, but
and I take a 50-gallon bath every single night.
We don't have sprinklers on the entire acre and a half, but we have sprinklers on what, half of that?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but all that with running the sprinkler every other day, it's $50 for 4 people's use of water and all the sprinklers.
Yeah. And so
and it's a lot cheaper than that when it's not the summer.
Really, $20 is not that much for us to water our entire yard where we live. So, especially for the summer, for as big as we have. So for us, that really wouldn't be a huge savings. But if you live somewhere where the water is really expensive, then it would.
But the thing on that also is that the people before us spent a lot more, but we do instinctively just do some things frugally. So we probably spend a third of the cost on the water.
No, we spend more than that. Their bill was $350 and ours was $50.
Yeah. Okay. So we spend a seventh of the cost on the water, and
they had 2 people living
and
at
about
their
the
house.
third of the cost on electric and gas. And it's just by using it differently. So you can, and that's something that we're not desperate, or we could cut it more if we were desperate.
Oh yeah.
But we're not desperate, and we don't like to spend more than we have to. So it's comfortable for us where we have it, but we've managed to arrange it so that we pay a lot less.
Yeah. And Joanne asks, what's a military shower? Do you get to wash your hair? So basically what a military shower would be, and there's various versions of it, but it could be cold water only. It could be where you have just a bucket and you've got your soap and your rag, and you take your rag, dip it in the bucket, get your body all wet, soap down, take your rag and kind of mop yourself off, get your hair a little bit of wet, get your shampoo in there, and then you take what's left in the bucket and dump it on top, and then it rinses everything down. That's one version. Another version is just a rag with a little bit of water, just kind of getting the pertinent areas. And it just depends on which version you want to do. But, sometimes you just got to go extreme and do that. So, let's see. Yes, go ahead and send it to me. There was a question here and I just missed it. But anyway, so
haven't gathered a lot yet.
Yeah. If you guys have comments or questions, put them in there. I'm going to get my next question, or it's more of a comment real quick while Mike's sending me the comments. Before I do that, guys, Dining on a Dime cookbooks in the description below, 25% off, and our How to Save on Groceries e-course is on sale right now, 50% off if you want to save money on your grocery bill. Grab our How to Save Money on Groceries e-course. Hello, I finally got the ebook. Thank you for your help. I looked at my book. So if you guys don't know, we have ebooks in our store. We have over 50 ebooks in our store. I looked at my book from the past, and it was the 3rd edition, 2000. Been watching you guys on and off for over 20 years. Thank you, Angel. I still haven't learned my lesson. If I would have stayed and practiced what I was doing, I would be in a good place now. Lesson learned, and we'll start from here on out. 20 years. Can you imagine what Angel could have done with 20 years worth of savings?
Wow.
People, I told you guys I've been selling my flowers. I have a whole bunch of perennial black-eyed Susans in my garden, like thousands. So I've been selling them on Facebook Marketplace, and people come to the house to pick them up. And every single person that comes says, wow, I never knew this house here. What a cool house. Oh, you're so... Well, not all of them say you're so lucky. Some of them say you're lucky, but
it's a little bit.
I get a little bee in my bonnet then. But they're just in awe at how much they love our house and how pretty it is and all this. But the ones that say, oh, you're so lucky, I say, no, this isn't luck. This is 30 years of not having a car payment. And Angel, I think, has finally learned her lesson, and that's great. She can start from here on out. But if you would just, let me turn that up one notch. Yes. If you would just practice these things. You can have the nice things, but you can do it debt-free so that you're not working just to pay interest to the banks or credit cards or the student loan people. Just practice these things and you will be able to do these things. All right, let's get to your comments and your questions. Michelle says, I have a shelving unit for my food storage. Very good. Yeah, guys, get yourself a stockpile. Our town came out, the emergency management of our town came out this week with a notice that for the week of August 5th, we need to have our cars filled up. We need to have all the food we need. We need to have all our medications. We need to plan on not being able to get to any grocery store or anywhere in town because our little town of 18,000 people is going to expect 60,000 people that week to be, what's the word I'm looking for? To converge on our town.
I said to descend on our town.
Descend. That's what I was looking for.
Jack thought that sounded a little too.
To descend on our town. Guys, this is why I have a stockpile. When the roads are blocked and you can't get out, Teton Road, just not very far from us, has totally been washed out. So now people have to take the long way around from Idaho into Wyoming and Montana. And some people are going to be stuck. Mike and I, 2 months, we were stuck in our little tiny town of 400 in Idaho we had just moved there 2 weeks before. And then there was major flooding and we were trapped in our town for 2 months without being able to get out. It was bad. We had no food, nothing. Thankfully, we lived on an Indian reservation and we were able to go down and get commodities from the Indians. Thankfully, but we would have been toast because we had just moved. Of course, when we move, we get rid of everything and start over again. And I didn't think to bring, food. It was bad. Why are all these people coming here? The 7-Day Adventists are having a campathon of some sort.
Camporee, they called it. It's like the Scouts.
In Gillette, Wyoming. And they are expecting all of these 60,000 people to come see the Wild West.
Well, we are the Wild West, really.
We should all wear a cowboy hat.
Was it the July 4th? When was the parade? Is that July 4th? It was the rodeo. The rodeo. At the rodeo parade here, there are like 200 horses they have like a whole bunch of cowboys on horses and cowgirls. And then they have, the tribe sends about 7 or 8 floats and whole bunches of people on horses. And there's hundreds of 200 or 300 horses. It's the coolest thing.
So they're having, the 7-Day Adventists are converging on Gillette, Wyoming. And they're expecting the spillover to Sheridan, even though it's an hour and a half away, because of this camping retreat thing that they're having there. And so everybody wants to come to Sheridan to see the Wild West. So I think it's pretty funny. So, okay, next comment or question. Nellie, I'm the only one who's noticing the sound is off. Turn it off and start again if you guys have that problem. Usually it's just YouTube syncing. Nancy, I had not used my volume 2 much until recently. It's this one right here. It has so many nice similar recipes. She mostly uses the gluten-free, dairy-free one right here. Please, guys, ignore my gardening fingers. I forgot to clean them. Yes, we have a lot of good summer recipes in our volume 2. Also on our website, Mom made a lot of menus, livingonadime.com. And you can go there and how are you SEOing them? Meal plans or menus?
Meal plans.
Meal plans is how Mike is putting them in there.
Look for menus except at restaurants.
Yep.
where the food isn't nearly as good.
Meat, Lori says, meat on the bone will be a real chicken. You won't be able to tell the steak chicken pretty soon.
Oh, she actually said that fake chicken
Oh,
was supposed
fake
to be.
children. Gotta love that spell check. You won't be able to tell the fake chicken pretty soon. Yeah, probably. Wanda, after I stocked up on boneless, skinless chicken breast for $1.99 a pound, it went on sale for $1.49 a pound for 2 weeks. You know what? In those situations, I just tell myself I did the best I can and just move on. I have saved in so many other ways that if I mess up once in a while, it's okay. So Wanda, give yourself some grace. I have done that myself. Right now, my freezer is pretty low, actually. As a matter of fact, it's so low, I'm moving everything from the big freezer to the little freezer, and I'm going to defrost and clean out the big freezer. So, actually, we should ask Pistol if I need to vacuum any coils or anything like that. I don't think we've ever done that on the freezer. We probably do.
Yeah, we should vacuum them. The one in the garage?
Yeah.
Well, the big one was clean when we put it in there when we moved. So, but 3
Oh,
years
we
is a
cleaned
long
it?
time. we just cleaned it.
We've had that thing like 15 years.
I know, but when we brought it here, it wasn't
We
all
cleaned
covered
it.
in glove.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt with this, but there was apparently a commercial at the moment you're talking about the
I'd
emergency
already
management. Okay.
Beth says chicken at our store was $14. It was about 5 pounds. Yeah, that's about average for what we pay to. Not on sale. Chrissy, we use bones all the time. Yeah, we do too. I just can't make the broth because the broth makes me ill. Katie, I made the Sloppy Joe recipe out of our red cookbook, our volume 1. They are amazing. Aren't the Sloppy Joes amazing?
They are. They're really good.
I lived in the Midwest my whole life and have tried many Sloppy Joe recipes, but ours is her favorite. So good and easy.
Oh,
Thank
yay.
you.
Thank you.
You can go to livingonadime.com and get that recipe, or super easy recipes on YouTube. I have that video also if you want to see how I made it. Donna, we got 2 10-pound bags of leg quarters last week, marked down to $5.31 a bag. Very good. 50 cents a pound for chicken is excellent. Donna, we made the red velvet cake from volume 1 last night. It was delicious. Our grandson made my aunt's icing recipe for the cake he made for a coworker. It is the best darn tootin' red velvet cake you will ever have. I absolutely love it.
It is really good.
Gina, what happens to Mom's car? Her water pump went out. And what happened was, so she hasn't had a car for like a week. We went over to go garage selling and we noticed stuff spewing out of her car. So we brought it home, came and got our car. Mike took it to the mechanic yesterday and her water pump is out, but he had been weed eating and was covered head to toe in grass slop and dirt.
Yeah.
And needed a haircut before the show anyway. And then this was like at 3:30, Mom called me and said, oh, I forgot I don't have a car. And I was like, oh, I forgot you don't have a car. And I am not feeling well. I have a cold on top of some kind of stomach virus that we've had for 2 or 3 weeks now. And so I was just like, I really don't feel like driving over there to get you. Sorry. So it'd be easier for me just to do the show by myself.
She'll be on next week, though, probably.
Yeah. Although it would have been good for practicing. Jack's got his permits now. So
yeah, Jack's got a driving permit.
We have another driver. So he could have gone and practiced.
Now, Jack calls it a learner's permit, but I call it a chauffeur's license.
Sarah, I found Skippy peanut butter for $2 for 64 ounces. I bought 2. That is great. Cherry, what flavors would you use? On what? Let me know on what. Maybe the chicken? The only thing I can think you were talking about flavors, maybe. So I just use my homemade seasoned salt recipe in Dining on a Dime cookbook, which is super darn tootin' good. It is way better than the stuff at the store. I use my homemade seasoning mostly. I also use the Montreal seasoning in here. The fajita seasoning in volume 1 also. I mean, a lot of my seasoning mixes I use on my chicken. Vicki, it's never too late to get your finances in order, but you can't make up for lost time or not starting when you were in your 30s. Yes, exactly. Olympia, I pay $2.35 for cable, internet, and landline. Whew. Wow. How much was our internet and landline?
So
We just cut our landline, so now we only have internet. But how much was it? Do you remember?
It was a lot more expensive than most people because of our business. Hold on just a minute.
Oh yeah, we have to have special
Let
whippy
me,
internet because to run the live shows, we have to have the highest upload that we can get. So we do pay extra for that.
Just a second, let me pull it up and I'll tell you what it is. So internet was actually, wow. Is this right?
$140.
$144 and the phone was $20.
Holy cow.
But for most people, the internet,
because we have
Spectrum internet, and they're kind of sketchy how they do it.
They have new internet coming.
They give you an introductory rate, which is slightly higher than other companies. And then after 2 years, they suddenly hike your rate a whole lot. Like they went from like $100 a month to $144 a month in 2 installments over 2 months. But we have the fastest internet that Spectrum has here because of the business. If we were to do a regular internet with Spectrum, I think it'd be $40 or $50 a month. But there's another company coming, and that company would be $30 for what we have now. And that's all we signed up for. They actually have faster plans, but we're finding that even with the business, the plan we currently have is fast enough. So yeah. So, but for just the internet, it's going to be $30 when we switch to the other company. And I think you can get it. I think $60 is their regular price, but their $30 is a sign up early deal.
Stephanie, haven't had TV since 2006. Yeah, we haven't had cable. Let's see. Dave was 5 when they started showing extremely inappropriate. I mean, we're talking extremely inappropriate commercials.
With girls with bikinis taking off parts of their clothing and such.
For Rudolph, for the Rudolph cartoon. And I called and I cut it right then. I was like, that's it, folks. I'm not doing this anymore. Rusty says we need a part for a washer. Service guy said the part for $200. I told my husband to look on eBay, found one for $80. Very good. Yes. Bandana Grandma. Hello, Susie. She says, listen to Tara. Her tips are great. And she's speaking my language back when we had nothing. It makes a difference. Exactly. Yep. Susie's frugal like we are. And she had 7 kids. So she knows her frugalness.
Yeah.
Cherry, our cable internet phone TV was over $300. I cut it all off. Whew. So we actually we had a home landline for Jack for when he was home in case there was an emergency. But we cut our landline because it was just as cheap to get a cell phone. Mike needed a new cell phone. How are you liking your new phone? Now that it works?
I like it. I like not having to fight to actually get it open.
His phone was dying a slow death. So we gave that to Jack. And it's good for just basic calling.
Well,
so we got rid of our landline now.
Well, we found out because we're paying on our service, if we keep paying on our service for 2 years, which we've already been doing for a number of years, that we have to get a separate line for it, but they will not charge me for the phone at all. So I was like, oh, well, so we were thinking we're going to go away from Spectrum anyway, the internet and phone provider. And the line was $20 and the Spectrum was $20. So I just added the line to our phone service and cut the line from Spectrum. So it basically costs the same, but now I have a phone that didn't cost us anything extra. Now, if we were to not pay for 2 years, it would have to pay for it then. But we realized, man, we've been paying 5 years on this plan, so we might as well get the phone.
Yeah. Can you send me the next comments?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a new whippy internet fiber line coming hopefully this summer. And we're going to dump our internet that we have now. They're horrible.
Well, it's funny because they were kind of okay for a while, but lately they've been down a lot. And every show we have to check before the show to make sure it looks like it's going to be up for the whole show.
Yeah, we move it to our hotspot when that happens. So, all right, let's see. Next comments.
In the landline, we kept it for a long time, but we weren't really using it. the idea was mostly so that Jack could call somebody when we were,
if it was an emergency.
if it was an emergency or something.
Guys, post your comments and or questions in the comment box, and Mike will grab them and send them to me. Water Bucket says this evening she's making croutons from volume 1. Isn't that really good? I made those the other day and they were so good. They were gone. I just put them in a big bowl on the counter and they were gone. Vicky, I never noticed any difference in my water bill regardless of how much I use. I think it just depends on where you live. It also depends on, like, there's a minimum amount of water. So, like, some people, like Mom, she doesn't even use the minimum amount of water.
You pay a certain minimum price no matter how much water you use. So
you get, like, what? We'll just say 20,000 gallons. I don't know how many it is, but just say 20,000 gallons for $20 a month. Well, if you don't use all that 20,000 gallons, you'll say you only use 5,000 gallons. You're still charged the full $20. So that could be a situation like that.
So in that case, if you were going to water your lawn or something, you might as well, because you're paying for it anyway.
Cecilia says, what is the best way to track your expenses? An app, writing it down in a notebook? Do you save your receipts? Sorry if it's a silly question. So it just depends on what works for you. If you're an app kind of a person, you like entering all that stuff into your phone or your computer or whatever, go ahead and do it that way. Mike does our basic bills on Excel. But we don't keep track of every little thing of gum we buy or anything like that because we have our finances under control now. But if you're needing to get your finances under control, what I would do is track them some way. If you're a pen and paper kind of a person, just get a notebook and each page is a month and just write it down. And after a couple of months of writing it down, you'll see where all your money is going. There are apps out there that will take your bank account and sort it for you, like all the restaurants and convenience stores, gas and all that. It'll pre-sort it for you that way. You can do it that way. But we just track it in Excel for our big stuff. And then the petty stuff we don't worry about anymore because we have our expenses under control. But I would keep all your receipts and write it all down for just a few months, 3 or 4 months, to see where everything is going. And then you'll have an idea of where it's going and you can go from there.
Well, and we started using this spreadsheet to look ahead a little further. So I just made a thing that has bank accounts and other accounts that have money in them. And then I made a thing of money that we've already made, but it hasn't paid to us yet because in a business you have a net. So like they might pay 30 days net, which would be 30 days later or whatever. And so I know how much they're going to pay and when it's going to come. So I put that on there. And then I have another thing below that says all the expenses that we have currently incurred that we have not yet paid. And I have it all calculate that. So if there's something big, that way I know, it hasn't cleared the bank yet. But yeah, we don't keep track of the little things generally anymore. We did for a while until we kind of got ourselves under control.
Yeah. RLK, we have water on. We have to water our foundations in Texas unless you want a slab leak or foundation repairs. Thank goodness I married a plumber. Yes, that is a problem here in Wyoming. If you don't water your yard, your foundation will crack.
Because the dirt all pulls away from it and everything and out from underneath it.
Or patios crack and that kind of thing. It is a problem. You send me the next one. Nancy, our water bill is over $100 a month, but that includes $45 for sewer fees. We wanted to put in our own septic tank, but they said no. If we live 10 feet or more off the road, we could put in our own systems. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cities won't allow that.
Our water is 50, but then the sewer is separate from that. So it ends up being close to 100 for both.
Yeah.
And during the high season. And then low season, it's less.
Chelsea's mom says some places give you a certain number of gallons. Yeah, and you get charged more if you go over it. Yes. Eva, my question is, why is TV so important to people that they're willing to pay $500 for a big screen TV and then $275 a month for cable? Because they have no life. That's probably why.
What was that?
But
again?
I mean, I guess if you're chronically ill or something, and you're home all day, that's a different thing. But, you know, the average working person, I just could not imagine working all day long and then just coming home and just sitting and doing nothing but watching TV or sports. I don't know. But that's why they're poor. That's why they're poor.
Well, one thing about cable, the most we ever paid for cable was $40 a month. Yeah. And at that time, the kids were watching a lot of kids shows a lot. And internet didn't really have what it has on it now. And so that's kind of what we were doing. But we kind of came to the point of realizing, well, like for people that pay $200 and something a month, there's 30 days in a month. And how many hours of TV do you watch a day? I don't know about you, but most of us seem to be trying to minimize our TV watching. So you pay that much for it, it's costing you a lot for each show that you watch. Yeah. And so like right now, what we do is, like I said, we just stream some things and they're cheap or free. And we watch up to an hour a day in the evening together just before we go to bed. And that's it.
Tanya says, I got a 10-pound bag or box of bacon for $19.90. That's $1.99 a pound. That is great. Good deal. Barbara, grocery outlet stores are opening around New Jersey. Have you heard of them? Are they cheaper? Yes and no. They're here in the farther west. And when we lived in Idaho, we had one. Some things are cheaper and some things are not. You'll just have to know your prices. That's why you have something like our price book, guys. We still have a bunch of these in stock. If you have something like our price book, grab this and keep track of your prices. Then you'll know if it's a good deal or not. Pamela, what did I decide to do with my window boxes? I'm going to take a picture and I forgot. So the big one along the wall, I ended up putting shade plants in. Got that. And then we got the one hung up under the big window. And I think I'm going to put fake flowers in there and a gnome village. I think that would be cute. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Just Vicky, Tara, I dug myself into a debt hole, a big one. I'm doing everything you say. I am determined, buckling down and praying for God to lead my path. In my mid-60s, it is not too late. No, it is not. I mean, you've still got 10 years that you can get this stuff straightened out. So that's great. Chrissy, good job. Chrissy, there's lots of free streaming. Yes. Michelle, we have a TV antenna. Get all our local channels for free. Yep. The antenna costs $40. Wanda, Pluto and Tubby are free apps for TV. They have commercials, but not as much as broadcast TV. You know what really makes me mad is we have Amazon Prime for our business. Makes me so mad. But I guess it's like cable. You pay for the streaming app, and then they have ads every 10 minutes in your show.
Yeah. Non-skippable ads. You're paying for the premium streaming service, and yeah, there's non-skippable ads in the middle of like fairly regularly. That's why we watch Amazon less.
Gina,
now.
My water bill is $349. Only 2 people. Have mercy.
So I'm wondering,
do you have a water leak?
Yeah, I was wondering if you have a water leak. Well, the other thing is, well, I don't know if that's every month. If it's every month, I would see if you have a water leak. Like if you turn off everything you know in the house and go to the water meter, if the numbers are still moving, there's a water leak.
Do you have like a ridiculous yard or something? Maybe they have a ridiculous, like my grandparents used to water their yard and it would cost them $350 a month. It was ridiculous. So maybe it was something like that.
We did have a time when we were in Idaho. Did you talk about Roku already?
No, I was getting ready to.
We had a time when we were in Idaho that we got a bill for like, I don't know, like $5,000 or something for the water, some huge amount of money. We called and they had read the meter wrong, and they said that we used 300,000 gallons of water that month.
Yeah.
We didn't, but I was thinking our house, we could leave the water on, the tap open all day long and full blast, and we wouldn't use that much water.
What do you need to use a Roku? Denise wants to know.
Well, a lot of TVs have Roku already enabled on them, and it's just a thing where you can go on there and connect it to various things on the internet that you want to watch. But if you don't have that, there's a little box you can go buy at Walmart or Best Buy or somewhere, or on Amazon. And I don't know how much the box costs now, but it used to be like $40 or something. And then you can use it to watch things like YouTube on TV, or other things like Friendly that some people have been talking about. That's an app you pay for, but there's some of them are free, like Pluto. Somebody said Pluto. I think Pluto is free. So that's what Roku is, and it connects through the internet, so you can hook that up to your TV and watch it without cable, which we've done that since pretty much 2008.
You have to buy the Roku box, but
yeah, if your TV doesn't do it already, you have to buy the box.
That's like $40 or something.
Yeah, and the box plugs in. It's $40 once, not a month. And then things like YouTube, there's no charge to watch it on there, or Pluto. If you want something a little fancier, like we have Friendly, which has like, I don't know, 10 or 15 channels of kind of family shows and older shows that we used to watch in the 80s and 90s and stuff. And that we pay like $8. Well, it's like $9 a month more. But basically, yeah, once you buy the Roku, there's no charge to run a lot of things on it.
Little Crafty Nook says it's $20 on Amazon. There you go.
For the Roku? Oh, it's cheaper than I thought. It is free once you have it to watch a lot of content on there. The thing is, it's kind of like a computer. It has like it has the YouTube channel, and if you click that, then you can watch anything on YouTube without paying for it.
Wanda has a great idea.
But then it also has,
I thought you were done.
The Pluto channel, which is free. But then there are other channels where you can choose to have them if you want to pay something for them. Like Netflix is on there, although we don't have that. There are cheaper ones, a lot cheaper ones than Netflix that are really good. So, but you have to be careful though if you do that to not get too many of those services, or else it gets expensive again.
Wanda says we should put out a table or a booth for the books when we're converged upon.
I know.
Actually, what we should do is put out a table or booth, not with books, but with drinks.
Yeah.
Selling drinks.
Yeah.
Diana. Found a new little store in LME, sirloin type roasts on sale for 3 days for $3.99 a pound. That's great. Lori, what is the best roast to purchase? The cheapest one they have. I just get whatever the cheapest one they have, and I just slow roast it either in the crock pot, Instant Pot, or oven. If you need an excellent roast recipe, Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1 has the best roast recipes. There's 2 of them in there. Chelsea's mom, a couple months ago, we got a great deal on clearance brats. 14 cents a sausage. Hubby got free buns at his grocery app. Peppers, onions from the freezer from last year's garden. 4 servings, 56 cents. That is great. Bandana says, sorry, you're feeling bad, Tara. Thank you. You look pretty. Thank you. You're wearing our twin shirt. Yes. Bandana Grandma has the same shirt that I do. It was totally hilarious.
Did you both get them when you were out at the...
No, I got mine at the thrift store, but... Tammy says, I just ordered the book for a lady getting married much month. Thank you. Debbie, I always hit the thumbs up when I get notification of a live video and whenever I start watching a video. Thank you, Debbie. Yes, hit that thumbs up right underneath the video here, and that really helps us get the video out to more people. Susie's mom, 1,000-mile trip starts with one trip. Yes, it does. Can you send me the next one?
Yes.
Jen says, what's up, Jack? Just a little kid last year.
I know. Actually, it's funny because we were looking, he was showing me a picture today of all 4 of the kids when he was like 3 and they were at the mountains, and BJ was towering over everybody else, and he was teensy tiny compared to even Ellie, who's our smallest. But now he's
the taller than everybody.
BJ. So it's pretty funny.
Now that we're down to one son at home, we are going to have to, I think, get us a riding lawnmower. We are all trying to mow about 20 minutes a day, but I got sick and haven't been able to do it for 2 weeks. Mike messed up his knee. Jack's been mowing. But our yard is pretty big. Although here in about a week or so, it's going to start heating up. Probably next week, our grass isn't going to be growing as fast.
And some of the stuff, I could have been mowing a little more, but was cutting out stumps and cutting. We have a lot of Russian olive trees that put up a bunch of shoots that have all these thorns. And for some reason, I didn't notice over the last 3 years, we haven't been really trimming them very much. And I realized, whoa, it's a giant bush under each tree.
It's hard to mow.
If we hack all this out, then it'll be easier to mow. So yeah. I've been doing that in stumps more. But Tara's right. It hurt my knee at the beginning of that project.
Karen, I bought a bottom half ham on sale for $1.29 a pound. The total was $12. I made 5 meals for a family of 7. Ham, instant mashed potatoes, delicious. Yes, very good. South Loop River Homestead. We have a landline because cell does not really work in our house. Yes, sometimes that is needed. Little Crafty Nook. We haven't had cable for a while, but then our TV went out. We stream on my iPad now. There you go.
Hey, why buy something else if that's good enough for you?
I know. Nancy, I don't know why our water sewer bill was the same each month. When you mentioned maybe the reason why we conserve water. Yeah.
There's actually another reason it could be. And if that's the case, you might want to know. They have something called balanced billing, where they try to estimate the yearly amount and then charge you the same amount every month. I personally would not do that, but some people like it because they know every month it's only going to be this much. The reason why I don't like it is at the end of the year, well, if you use more than they think, you'll have suddenly a big bill then. Or there's probably some other problem on the other end of that. But anyway, so if that's something that you want to check into, you could ask them if it's balanced billing.
Yep. Kimberly. She got a Grill Masters box from Aldi for $59, 2 T-bones, 2 New York steak, 2 filet mignons wrapped in bacon, 2 pork chops, 2 chicken breasts, 8 burgers, all vacuum sealed. I will let you know how it is. We haven't had steak in over a year, and I wanted to put some meat in the house. With meat being so expensive, I just wanted to get some in the house. Very good. Be interesting. Let me know how that goes. Wanda, this Friday, my great-grandson will be 3 years old. Aw, that's great. Lori, maybe you can answer this question for me. I've heard there is mold in coffee. Can you tell me why there is? So it's the way they process it. And I don't know if there's mold, but it's the fermentation process with tea and coffee. And now that I think about it, you know, I keep saying tea makes me not feel good, but I love drinking my tea. Yeah. And I know I keep stopping it, but tea is fermented and I can't do anything fermented. Maybe I should stop my tea again. Here, I just got 6 boxes of my favorite tea from Amazon because I've run out of tea. I can't believe I ran out of tea. But it would be the fermentation process is why they would say there's mold in coffee, if that's the way they do it. I don't know for sure. You'll have to Google it. Wanda, I use a small calendar that I keep in my purse and keep track of bills and due dates. It helps me keep on top of things. Yes, very good. Kimberly, I'm old school. Use pen and paper. Also keep receipts. Yep. Linda, I'm debt free, but I still track every expense to the penny. Excel every month. There you go. Rusty, in a single subject notebook, I write down each page, date, get paid, and what's due with that check. Very good. Me too. I have buckets for rain, water for plants. Yes. Froze family, hello. How is Japan? We had well water for over 25 years, so only had to pay for the electricity for the pump. Now we pay $20 a month for water and sewage. Wow. I don't know why I thought in Japan it would be a whole lot more expensive. Rusty, a Roku is on clearance at Walmart online for under $20. Very good. Rusty, you guys might go check that out. You can send me the next one. Rusty, never pay for gym memberships or movies on YouTube or a library or fee on apps. Yes, if you're not going to use them or you can't afford them. Tori, we just bought Roku 2 weeks ago and it was only $19 at Walmart. Unsinkable. I found you. I've been reading your stuff since the 90s. Hello. Wow. Oh. You've really been with us because we started in 1997. I started giving advice on frugal living groups on how people could save money on the grocery bill. And it just spiraled from there. I'm sorry. I apologize for all of it.
Wait, say that again? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
For what?
For starting this whole thing. Can you ever forgive me?
So I was looking through some old things, and in 2012 or 13, I was sending a thing to Tracy, explaining to her why we've been kind of on and off about quitting for like 5 years. This was in 2013.
25 years later, we're still, no, 27 years later, we're still quitting. Yeah. Joanne, now I understand why I can't handle tea. Mold is one of my biggest allergies. It's mine too, Joanna, and I just realized that.
Wait, so tea has...
Well, tea's fermented, I think.
It is?
Yeah. Is tea
I thought kombucha is fermented
in the making?
I wouldn't think regular tea would be fermented.
Teas are often described as semi-fermented and fermented. This is rarely the case. Oh, maybe not. Teas are generally, oxidized. No, it was the oxidation that I thought I might be having a problem with. Okay, teas are generally oxidized. The terms are used interchangeably, but this may lead to confusion. Freshly picked tea leaves undergo enzymatic, using enzymes, oxidation simply by exposing them to air and layering them to dry. It's the oxidation. There you go. But I can't do like sauerkraut. They had me on the GAPS diet for a while, and it made me horridly sick.
I wouldn't think tea would be fermented unless you, like sun tea
So
might
it must be the
fermented.
oxidation.
Because it has to sit for a while
Mm-hmm.
for bacteria to grow in there and stuff.
Okay, next. Did you send me the next one?
Yeah.
Wanda, my TV quit about a month ago or two. Only missed the first couple days. There you go. We have like 4 TVs we're not using. I keep thinking I'm going to put them on upcycle, but I never see TVs on there, so I don't know if anybody would ever buy them. I don't know how.
Are they? There's one that's with the house when we.
Well, there's one with the house. One was BJ's when he moved into the tiny house. One was Dave's that he just didn't want anymore. One was our old one until we got the big one. Lorraine, our water bill is approximately $6 a month for 2 of us. Woo, that's great. Wanda, my neighbor complains about what they pay for cable, but she keeps it. I know. Denise, we have something called Selective TV in West Central Minnesota. We make a contribution and can pull in 85 stations off a simple antenna. It's fabulous. Wow. Donna, I bought the Walmart brand. Oh, Donna, listen to this. I bought the Walmart brand brownies because of your taste test videos. I can't get over how much better they taste over the expensive name brands. The same with the Walmart brand of cake mixes. I'm telling you, it's good, isn't it? Vicky says they don't have a water leak. Man, Vicky, there's something you're doing with that. That's crazy.
You know, you might look at your bill because, so we used to live on rural water. And when we lived on rural water, part of rural water, it's a co-op. I had to go out and read our own meter. They would send a guy out every year or two to make sure that I didn't give them the wrong numbers. But at that time, for our whole family, we rarely went over 5,000 gallons. And of course, the kids were littler and they weren't taking teenager showers yet. But so I'd say if there are 2 of you, if you're using more than 5,000, something is seriously wrong, unless you're just watering 5 acres of ground. Like if it's just the 2 of you, it should be less than 5,000, probably 3 or 4 really. So I'd look at your water bill and see that, unless you already know. If you know what it is that's causing it, but I don't suspect it's a high rate. High rate could cause it too, but you'd have to have an abnormally high rate, like you'd live in the desert somewhere where they just can't get water. So I would just check your bill and see how much it says you're using. And if it's more than 5,000 gallons, I would call somebody.
Kimberly says my husband, now that he's retired, does enjoy television. Well, yeah, if you're retired, I could see that too. We have Amazon Prime and Netflix. I'm talking about normal middle-class working people. I just can't see how you could just come home at 5 o'clock and just sit down and watch TV all night. I only have them now because he has shows he watches. Otherwise, I would have already gotten rid of them. I don't order as much from Amazon anymore now because I'm retired and I don't have the money to. So we have it mostly for the Prime Video. At least the YouTube is free. And then I have a Sling so that I can watch regular television. But again, we're both retired. If I was working, I would not have it at all. Yep. Lori, can you really reuse your pickle juice and throw cucumbers? So that's a tip in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, guys. Volume 1 in the description below, 25% off right now. Yes, you can. Now, it is not as strong as the original pickles. Yes, you can. But you can also use pickle juice if you have leg cramps. If you drink a couple tablespoons of that before you go to bed, it helps with leg cramps. You can also use pickle juice to marinate chicken, pork, roasts. And it's really tasty. Donna. If our internet goes out, we can't stream shows or music. I have an older boss CD radio that was given to me. I play lots of Gaither Homecoming CDs on it. There you go. Vicky, I have a budget billing with my electric company. I have had it for about 4 years. Love it. We had 4 straight months with bills over $300 in the summer. My monthly bill is $141. It always goes lower every year. Holy cow. You send me the next one? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Man alive. Eva says, however many years ago it was that you did video of saving paper towels and Jill was cutting up t-shirts, that's when I started watching you. Wow, that's been like 10 or 12 years ago.
Hold on a second, I got more for you.
Marsha wants to know what state or city that she lives in for that high of a water bill. Not trying to be nosy. In a town electric was $350 higher. Nothing on 8 miles from town, $55 a month. Woo. My goodness.
Well, water is usually pretty cheap at most places. So you'd have, usually if it's that high, it means that you're using a lot of it. And if you don't know, if you know you're using a lot of it, then that's the reason why. But if you don't know, then you might check and see if there's a problem.
Badlands has to pay $3,000 an acre for then $200 an acre every year after that for water rights. It's a precious commodity and we conserve every drop. Yeah, I believe that. She's in the Canadian dry zone up there. Dale, Tara, I'm glad I started your show. It's been wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Lauren, my son is like 1 inch away from being taller than me. Yeah, Jack shot up over us and he's only 15. So I don't know. We should start taking family bets about how tall he's going to get. I bet it's going to be 6'4", 6'5", 6'4".
He's already over 6
He's already
feet.
6. Rusty, on YouTube, some people tell you codes for your Roku for some kind of movies like westerns or comedies.
So I think
so they share it and they're
maybe they're sharing it.
Which really
technically they're not supposed to share. I thought you meant like it was a promotional thing that like some YouTuber got paid to promote something and then they gave that YouTuber a code to hand out to people.
Yeah.
In that case, it's legit. But if it's codes where they pay for it and they share it with other people, that's pretty sketchy.
Wanda wants to know, did Jill get a little Bertha? What was that?
Think about Big Bertha, snowblower.
Oh,
turns out we
didn't have any snow this year, so we didn't need to.
Well, we had just a very small amount of snow.
So the guys just hand shoveled it this year because it wasn't that bad. Heidi says 0-turn lawnmowers are really nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're probably going to pay more for our lawnmower than we have paid for most of our cars.
Wow.
It's cheaper than hiring, I guess. At $200 a pop. It'd probably cost us $200 to have somebody mow it every time.
They had these robot mowers that I looked at when we first moved in, but it was going to be like $5,000. I thought I'm not going to spend $5,000, and they've come down in price to where they're just a little bit more than I would want to spend. But there some concerns. Some of the reviews say I bought it and the wheels fell off right away or something like that.
Wow. Nancy says if you have streaming TV, a Roku device, Tubi is an excellent free channel.
We'll have to check out Tubi. That's one I wasn't familiar with, but a lot of people have said it tonight.
Little Crafty Nook. We already had the iPad. My hubby got it for his birthday last year, so I had to monitor. So I had a monitor when I live streamed. Very good. Olympia, what worries me about changing companies for phone and cable is that they have to change wires, make holes all over the house. They do?
Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Like if it's all cable, then it would be the same wires. But if you switch to, I grab my chest when I say it. If you switch to DSL, which would be like, that was more of a phone line thing, and that also might be in lines that are already there, but I would not get DSL if you could avoid it. Or satellite, I would also not get that unless it's the Skylink or Starlink might be okay for that. But like if you switch to fiber, then they might have to do new things. But the thing is on that, it's usually one new hole, and usually they have a pretty good way of concealing it, so it's not real ugly looking.
That'd be a good thumbnail. Ruth, my electric company does balance billing. They adjust the bill each quarter instead of once a year. There you go. South Loop Homestead is saying we are in the boonies and our internet is from the phone company. We do Wi-Fi. I don't understand why you can't have Wi-Fi.
Oh, so Bounty in the Badlands was saying they can't get Wi-Fi because they're in a bowl, but I think you mean you can't get data, because Wi-Fi is something that comes from your internet router and just goes in your house or on your own property. So if you mean just getting information from the air, that's the data on your service, and Wi-Fi is just from your own equipment. So I think there was a confusion between the two of them, but I think that was why.
Jerry says if you rent, they base it on the people who live there before you, so the savings or overreach will get passed on to you on that water bill. Well, they should adjust it eventually, I would think. DK Set says our internet still comes in on a 2-wire phone line too. We watch Roku, mostly YouTube channels like Homesteaders. Yep.
So if it's on a phone line, it's probably DSL, which is not terrible. If you live out in the country, it might be the best you could get.
Susie's mom says Stash's chocolate mint tastes like dessert. I think she means tea. That would be interesting to try. Little Crafty Nook. I decorate mini composition books. They are perfect to keep in your purses. Yep. Patricia Whitaker, Sling is free for life. There you go. Christy, we swap streaming services and only keep one at a time to catch up on the shows of the platform. So we are only ever paying for one. Bounty the Badlands.
That's a good idea. We talked about doing that at one point because there's some stuff that was it the BBC. What was that called? The BritBox. We thought about canceling like Friendly for a little while and then getting BritBox and watching all the British shows that we want to watch and then canceling that and going to something else.
Bounty Badlands says I'm in Canada, Wi-Fi in the north, away from the cities. It's very sketchy. We don't even have smartphones. Yeah, that's Wyoming. That's what we had a problem with moving to Wyoming, buying a house, was we couldn't get internet for pretty much every house we looked at. So we finally had to come to the city, but we're glad we did. We like our house. Just Vicky, Tara, remember Murphy's Law? If you get rid of TVs, one of the TVs, one might go out. I know. That's what I keep thinking. Can you send me the last batch? Yeah, that's what we keep thinking. Tara, I had what you have now for a month. It was going around here. Z-Pack doesn't work. I took that first 7 days of amoxicillin and got rid of it. Oh, really? I was thinking about going to the doctor to get some antibiotics because it's been going on almost 3 weeks now. And I'm like, okay, we need to be getting this stomach thing cleared up.
Well, we've had a lot of things over the last few years that it's like, are we sick? I'm not sure. It's sort of, we all feel yucky. We're not really sure if we're sick. It goes on and on and on for a long time. And eventually we feel good for a couple days and then we start feeling sick again. Like, what is going on with that? I sent it to you. You don't want any more after that? I didn't. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine if there's a couple more. Carrie, I put beef bones, chicken bones, ham bones. Depends on what meat I bought. Goes in a slow cooker and frozen veggies, peels, water, bay leaf, salt, pepper. Cook on high. It's so good. Yes, that broth would be very delicious. Jen, pickle juice is good for an upset stomach too. Huh, that's a good idea. Vicky, we have free Facebook group in my county. I think it is hurting us selling our things. So many people giving away.
Heidi said we have a 10-acre yard. We mow about 6 acres of it. It takes a lot less time to mow now that we have 0 turn. It'd take us a lot less time because we're push mowing it right now.
Yeah. And we've lost 4 mowers in the family now. So.
Oh, yeah. Mowing people.
Yeah. Kimberly, I bought the Walmart brand dish soap because of the comparison videos. It works the same as Dawn. Yeah, I think it works better than Dawn. Joanne, has been following us since 2014. Wow. Bandana, who has the tall jeans in your family? My family all has tall guys, and Mike's family has
Both
some
my
too.
grandfathers were tall.
Christine, my father-in-law waters his lawn 30 minutes a day. His bill is $300 a month. Whew. Karen, one of my stores has on sale corn on the cob for Father's Day, and it's 4 ears for $1. So you know my freezer will be filled with it. Wait, is Father's Day this weekend?
I think it is.
No way. Seriously?
Ooh, somebody's going to have some special things happening.
Really?
I can't wait to see what you've planned.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Kathy says our water bill with Illinois American Water, $250 a month for 3 people, no leaks, and we do not water. Holy smokes.
goodness.
That's really, really expensive for
Well,
water.
it's Illinois. What do you expect?
Well,
They regulate
when we were in
everything there.
Texas, I think my parents seemed to say the water was really expensive, but I was a teenager, so I was only half paying attention. But when we lived in Kansas and Colorado, Idaho, and here, the water was cheap. So I'm not sure. Where else did we live? Is that all the places we lived in? Kansas, Colorado, Idaho, and here? Yeah, okay.
Texas.
But I heard in...
Well, we rented there.
Yeah. Well, and when we rented there, we didn't have a yard or anything. So it was just two of us. So, but yeah, my parents talked when I was a kid about water being really expensive. But one thing about the watering, if you do water, Tara, because she's a gardener, she was trying to find the sweet spot between watering so it stays green, but not watering so much that it costs too much. And also, if you water it excessively, then you have to mow a lot more. So we did kind of find a sweet spot on that. So that could be partly why it's less expensive for us when we water.
Wanda uses pork chops in bread and butter pickle juice. Very good.
Wanda says, offer teenagers some brownies to come mow the lawn.
Our lawn's pretty bad. I don't know. I think every time we have a fire pit, if they come for the fire pit, everybody has to mow 10 minutes.
Whoa. Marcia, try electric weed whacking 7 acres. Gas mowers are being sabotaged by mean neighbors.
Oh, my
Well, we had an
goodness.
electric weed eater, and we couldn't even do our 1/4 acre that we had. I'd have to recharge it 3 times to get the 1/4 acre done. And that was a pretty good, it was a neat weed eater. Just I'd have to recharge it. And so I'd have to keep coming back to it later in the day when the battery recharged.
Wanda threw her bread and butter pickle juice and pork chops in the slow cooker. Yum. Shannon, my mother-in-law lives in town and is on city water, and they have to pay sewer as well. They just double the water usage, and that's their bill every month. Wow. $150 a month. Hello. So I saw your video, and I was going to have a discussion with you about that.
Kimmy.
Kimmy. Oh, I forgot to say Kimmy.
You didn't say
hello, Kimmy.
You didn't say hello, Kimmy, and you also didn't say hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
Yes.
She was saying she's overwhelmed. Oh my goodness, I can hardly function. I have been gardening like several hours a day because I'm trying to get everything put in. But I seriously have to force myself to do anything. Yeah. So I'm right there with you.
Jim says, happy Father's Day, early Mike, and any other fathers watching. Thank you very much.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. I can't wait to see what you have planned.
Get on it. Shannon, my mother-in-law lives in town, is on city water, and they have to pay sewer as well. They just double the water usage. Oh yeah, I read that one. South River Loop Homestead says our lawnmower costs more than our car and is worth it. Yeah, I mean, it'll probably cost more than the car we've been driving for the last 12 years. Yeah. Susie's mom, do you use pickle juice, or do you use dill pickle juice or sweet? I use both. All of the pickle juices work really good. Lauren, we have an Ego push mower and about an acre to mow regularly. It costs 5 cents worth of electricity to charge the battery. Wow. I don't think an electric mower, our yard.
It's very hilly. I think it would burn the battery real quick because of how hilly it is. Although we can't ride the push mower, or we can't ride the riding mower on the very hilly parts. So, yeah, I don't think those are meant for properties as big as ours. But I think that they do have some that you could buy that would probably do it.
Do you have any more? Nancy, we hardly fry food, but when we fry chicken, we marinate in pickle juice for hours. It not only has great flavor, but seems to tenderize it too. Yeah, the acid in the pickle juice is what tenderizes.
Becca says your cough is from allergies. Are you battling?
Well,
are you
that's what I was wondering, if it's allergies. I feel like I've been hitting the head with a brick. I've been sneezing all day.
She used to go shake all the plants out in the garden, and then she'd get all sick and her eyes would swell shut. She finally realized, oh, hey.
Yeah. So I ran out of my allergy medicine and I need to get some, and I keep forgetting. No, Kimmy, you're not in trouble. I was just going to bond with you over the lack of motivation. I mean, seriously, if you guys haven't noticed, I've only put one video out on living on a dime and super easy recipes for the last 2 weeks because I just can't do it. Today, it was too hot to be outside gardening. So I finally forced myself to sit down and go through all my hundreds of video clips and organize them. But I'm just sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, I do not want to do any videos. Oh
my. Krista says, I've been thinking of you, Tara. I've been living with plumbers since Memorial Day weekend. What started out as $59, what we thought was a clog, were rotten pipes running into 5 figures.
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry.
Man, for that price, I'd probably do it myself.
I was going to say, can you dig it out? You at least get it all dug out yourself?
Well, the part that comes to your property is the city's responsibility, but then the part that's on your property is your responsibility. But man, I think I would replace my own pipes on the property for that price. Yikes. That's crazy. I don't know. I know
we did have the plumber out this week to make sure there was nothing wrong, and it was just a typical clog, just because I think we'd had so many people over for Memorial Day, and that particular bathroom had not been used until the year before. So, she says it's slab construction. Oh my goodness. That's going to be awful.
Whoa.
Oh, Krista, I am so sorry.
In the slab?
Well, like Mom's house in Idaho.
Wow. I'm surprised that but I'm surprised the pipes gave out being in this concrete. But wow. Is it a really old house, Krista? Wow.
Vicky says, I discovered my husband was getting up in the middle of the night and watering the lawn. I would get mad at him when the water bill came in. I would kill you if you did that. Oh, golly!
Wait, what's that again? What was the thing you said?
Her husband was getting up in the middle of the night watering the lawn.
Okay.
I would shoot you. And they wouldn't find the body because it would decompose really fast. You might call me.
Do you think I would get out of bed to water the lawn? I think not.
Have mercy.
Hi, Goalie. It's good to see you.
Is next Tuesday the day? I think next Tuesday is the day. You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I can't wait. Let us know how it
goes. Be happy.
Let's say hi to Fareed.
Mike's been talking to several people who've had the same thing, and 7 weeks later, they're at the gym doing their little exercise thing. Yes, we do have a gym membership.
Well, apparently apparently they've been to this is for knee replacements. Apparently they were in the gym a lot earlier than that, but after 7 weeks, they're going like, I can't believe. I mean, working it really hard. So there you go. Don't forget about the e-course.
Yeah, guys, our How to Save on Groceries e-course is 50% off right now. If you want to save on groceries, you can get them. The ebooks and the videos all come in the e-course. And get those done. Gully says, you know where we live. It's next Thursday. Oh, I thought you said it was Tuesday. Okay, I know you told me in my text that it was Tuesday. Gully is going to make me like lose my mind here. So our friend is having surgery. And here's what she said. Okay, so here's what she said. She said, it just got moved up on Tuesday. Oh, so she must mean on Tuesday they moved it. I translated Thursday. That as they moved it up to Thursday. Oh, Goalie, we got to communicate better. We got to communicate better. Kenneth says you wouldn't decompose really fast with all that pickle juice. If something ever happens to you and people see these videos, they're going to come after me and put me in jail. Oh, and then I won't have to mow. I won't have to cook. I won't have to do laundry. That might be kind of
hey.
Poor Jack. He would be lonely.
He's already the last man standing.
Wanda wants to know what's the verdict on the neck shots. Okay, so I went back and looked at the footage today, and it did really, really help me with some things, but it was not long lasting. And he told me it might not be. He said some people last 10 days and some people last 10 months. So I have this anesthesiologist, because it was at the hospital, it was not covered under my insurance. So we're going to pay in cash for that. So I'm going to another one in Gillette in July that does the same procedure and the ketamine treatments. And I'm going to talk to him, but my pain is pretty bad. I mean, it's to the point where I can almost not walk. It's getting pretty bad. I'm forcing myself to keep walking, but Mike will tell you I'm in pretty bad pain by the time the evening comes around. Now, I'm not sitting on my duff doing nothing. I'm hauling rock. I'm hauling plants. I'm hauling dirt.
She's doing a lot more than she probably should be.
Doing a lot.
Given that she's not feeling good. Although she likes the gardening, and it does often make her feel better when she's doing it.
Yeah.
But this is the beginning of the season, and I think we're both finding that we're more beat up.
Yeah.
Getting restarted in it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, after sitting all winter, of course, I'm going to be really sore. But, I mean, I'm pretty sore. And so, yeah.
I wanted to ask here. Ask Tara, does cabbage and apple cider vinegar go together? Cabbage, vinegar, pork chops.
Yeah, I know. Some people have made that. Yeah, It's an old-fashioned recipe. Yeah. It is. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm going to go back, but my fibromyalgia pain is pretty bad. And yeah, I'm going to go join goalie. Maybe they could replace everything in my body. Has there been a whole body replacement before? Maybe we could look into that.
That day is coming.
Have the AI do it.
No, I was thinking when Jesus comes back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wanda is fighting her insurance for pain patches. Was with the doctors today, so he's going to put diabetic neuropathy for a reason for needing it. Yeah, I think part of my problem is I think I'm getting neuropathy in my arm. So at night when I sleep, my arm falls asleep and it's extremely painful. And so I have to wake up my arm, turn over 1,000 times, trying to keep it from falling asleep again. And so that's part of my problem. But anyway, yeah, man, everybody's been sick. My goodness. Good grief. Yeah, I was wondering if I should go and get some antibiotics for the whole stomach thing. But everybody's got it. Mom's got it. Mike and Jack had it. And so, yeah, everybody's been having it. And we had company and they had it. And so it was before Memorial Day, though. It was like the week before Memorial Day when we got it. So it's been almost 3 weeks. So Rusty says the older you get, your body says, I don't think so. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Speaking of your body saying you don't think so.
All right, guys, go check out our grocery e-course for 50% off right now. Save on your grocery bill and our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 25% off right now. livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time. Have a great night. livingonadime.com.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Stretch it.
Okay,
stretching.
I'm stretching.
Okay, wrap.
Now I'm done. Goodbye.
Bye.